check again.
We need a theme song.
I was going to play that.
Everybody who's cool has a theme song.
All right, let's see.
First of all, what are you going to play, though? I don't know. I'm a little nervous because we didn't discuss.
We didn't.
Is it your music?
I don't it could be, but I don't have that on my thing here.
Hey, how are you?
What's
I'm just
happening?
going to tell you that today was an extremely rough day. So, I've gone out on my own. I left corporate officially as even a consultant or some kind of employee a few years ago, but I have lots of corporate experience. I actually started my life in corporate America, okay, where I was a business consultant turning around struggling companies. And, when you're in corporate, you got to play that game, right? Where you go in the boardroom, everybody sits around in the meeting, and you have to put up with the nonsense of at least out of the 10 people in the board meeting, 6 or 7 or 9 of them are going to be literally incompetent. I'm going somewhere with this. Just trust the process.
You want the music?
Hold on, let me finish it. So in the morning, we're doing homeschool. This is reminding me of what it used to be like at the corporate experience where I'm sitting around, I'm hijacked in a meeting that I don't want to attend. And it's not just an hour-long meeting. It's like, hey, can you come in for this meeting real quick? No, it's a 6-hour meeting. It's a 7-hour meeting.
In a row?
Where I'm hijacked, and everybody in the meeting is incompetent. And it's not like you can look and be inappropriate and be like, God damn it, Cindy. It's not like you can look over at and go, God damn, or roll your eyes and be like, ugh. I leave that 8-hour corporate meeting that's like a bad SNL skit.
And none of those meetings are ever that long.
I can't. What's the theme song?
Let's see.
I'm scared to know the theme song.
Oh, if you weren't headphones, you'd be able to hear it. So now you don't know.
Come on.
What is it? You guys hear it?
There, sugar dumplings. Let me tell you something, girl.
I feel like this is a cool
trying
commercial.
to say now.
I feel like it's a...
You look so sweet and you're so doggone
That wouldn't be like a toilet paper commercial.
No.
Maybe it's strange. Maybe it's like a hot dog
Or is this a
commercial.
good one?
This is all very corny. I understand that.
In a good way, though, right?
Being your
How
taste.
about this? I don't know what this is.
Do you know, guys, something that's really embarrassing about us? Well, that's totally you, but I don't like it. I mean, I like you, but I don't like that song. When we were making out, when we first got together, we were like, hot and heavy, and things were going down the road, down the path, and all of a sudden, ABBA came on. But we were in it to win it, so we couldn't get out of it to change the music and take a chance on me.
Yeah, well, because
Became the song.
the playlist that we were playing was,
if you know what I mean.
I kind of created this epic idea of.
Did you make that playlist specifically for meeting me?
No, but it was.
It's your old playlist. It's your mixtape.
Well, no,
before?
it was my vision, my ultimate vision of the a 3-day rock opera /
right.
personal development
Yeah.
that has a bunch of stories in it, and the whole it's like Tommy or Operation Mindcrime, or what was that other one that was? There's a bunch of them. That is the whole play, the whole movie, the whole everything is told in song.
Okay.
And that was one of the songs that was in that playlist.
I feel like
And
we're
it was
super
writing our
professional,
story.
although
Yeah.
I feel like I might be slightly inappropriate with this mic at any given minute. I might go rogue.
Cool.
I don't want to, but I'm just warning everybody. It's a family show.
Yeah.
It's not really a family show, but
No.
I'm telling you now. And we brought show snacks.
So we didn't add this in the title, but fun things you could do with peanut butter. Now,
Speaking of power couples.
yes. Have you ever had a peanut butter and bacon? See, look, Lily's all over
Yeah,
it.
the cat likes it.
Peanut butter and bacon. And the Elvis is like a peanut butter and bacon sandwich made like a grilled cheese. It's quite nice. And you actually turned me on to this one.
To peanut butter and bread and butter pickles.
Peanut butter and bread and butter
And
pickles.
you added the Ritz, and we're going old school West Virginia, bringing it home.
It's, yeah.
We've made it. When you are doing hors d'oeuvres on a Ritz cracker, you've reached the
you've
big
made
time.
it. Oh, look,
You've reached the
Lily's
big-
helped us out here.
Oh, great. What did she do?
Turned on the music, turned on everything.
Lily, get down. Damn cat.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. There you go.
There it is. So, anywho, who is doing this homeschool thing? I know I've been talking about it for a couple weeks now, but it's just where I'm at mentally. I literally feel like a brain dead zombie at the end of the day, like hijacked in this corporate throwback meeting with
And the only thing that'll make you feel better is peanut butter and pickles.
The incompetent. I mean, and it's not fair. It's kindergartners. What am I? I'm so mean that I'm saying I'm like a bunch of incompetent people. But literally, it's like sitting and listening. You know how it is. Are you ever been in corporate where you're listening to people and you can just feel the incompetence in the room, and they raise their hand? You're like, oh shit. You don't want them to talk, and it's like that like couple of kids that like.
Yeah. There's a couple of kids who just teacher.
Yes, I see you. and you know, and you can only listen to so many, like, is it safe to go out in lightning? I mean, you can't, these are the questions, right? So it's not even like stimulating, and I can't do anything. And Elavie is, I know, feeling it, and I'm trying to like, so I've got some tips, okay, that I had to tap into today to try to like get my head back on straight, because I was getting bitter and aggressive. I was repressing rage in this school day. I'm like starting to see. So number one thing is get out of there.
Yeah.
Get up.
You could have called me earlier.
Go to your room.
I did. I walked in there and I'm like, hey, you need anything? You're like, yeah, I need a break. Take over.
It was like the SmackDown at WWE when you you try to wait till you tap out. You know what I mean? Like, and you high five your partner, like go in your tag team partner, like Randy Macho Man Savage, and whoever he was tagging with.
Oh.
Did he ever tag with Hulk Hogan? That would have been a good. Remember the ring girl? The ring girl.
Ring girl.
Yeah, she was very famous. I think she was Randy Macho Man's girl or something.
He had his own.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Girl.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Anywho,
let's see if this works.
I quit drinking next month. Will be 10 years that I haven't had a drink, and so. But thank you. Is that really? I like that. Can I have that follow me around in my life?
I don't know. Do we hear it?
That feels to me nice.
We hear it in here. I don't know if we're playing it out in the. There.
So anyway. Thank you. I haven't drank in 10 years, okay? And that's probably more appropriate of what it would be like. Like, okay. I don't know how to celebrate my own success. So it's like a random kazoo. It's just like one, like, woo! Like you're at the party and you want people to pay attention. And so he's like, woo! There's nothing else. You're like, yeah.
And then,
thanks, guys. Yeah.
The more you know.
So anyway, but I understand how a situation like that, day in and day out, would drive one to contemplate a drink. I didn't, thank God.
And we know that there are people right now certainly filling their coffee cups with some
Well, I made a video
juice.
about that, talking about the mommy juice, but you know, and how it's really not appropriate, because there's a lot of people in recovery that have been struggling a lot. And actually, I lost 2 people that I really care about just since the quarantine, that I know personally, that I've loved on and, you know, worked with. But honestly, naps are another thing. I've never needed to take a nap after a job in my life, and I've had some pretty significant things, right? I've turned multi-million-dollar companies. I've worked inside of a drug and alcohol treatment center with 100 addicts at a time. Nothing makes me want to nap more than 6 hours in a kindergarten class.
In a row?
I didn't even need a nap after working in treatment, and I needed a nap from being a kindergarten teacher. So I'm done complaining, but if you need to complain, you can continue to complain in the comments. Let me know how it's going for you. We want to talk today about being a power couple. And I noticed in your Instagram post that you actually hashtagged perfect couple. I appreciate the satire.
Yeah. Well,
it's hilarious, because we are not.
That's. Well, I figured I'm still learning the whole hashtag thing anyway.
Oh, I have a friend, Tiffany, who used to do the best hashtags. She would just make them up randomly before it was even a thing. And she used to come up with such, but now you actually want to do the
ones that
right
actually,
ones.
that
exactly.
have a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here, look, I can do this too, I think. Yay.
Yay, Lauren said congrats. Thank you very much. So we're going to talk about navigating through, and you know, Doug and I have been together, we'll be together 11 years, right? I'll be sober in October for 10. We were together for a year before I quit drinking. So that's how I kind of measure
our
things,
first
actually.
date is the day after Ellie's birthday.
October 15th.
Yeah.
It's coming up. 11 years with you.
So that was 09?
Oh, back in 09.
It might be more than. Are you sure?
No, yeah, it was 09 because
it wasn't 08.
I was living in Los Angeles in 08,
Okay.
right when that economy tanked and all that business happened, and I kind of came home with my tail between my legs, and then I met you because I was wide open and vulnerable, and in you came into my life. Vulnerability.
Yeah, the more you go back,
That's a dirty word.
Stay on the mic there, honey.
Stay on the mic. Stay here.
Well, no, if you're gonna go,
right here.
Yeah, right there.
Here.
The closer you
I
are,
told you I was gonna
the
do
more
it.
gooder it is.
I can't help myself, guys.
I know.
So inappropriate.
And then we can put on the echo or the delay, which you can't hear either because you're not wearing. Oh, you are wearing.
I wish
headphones.
you guys
Okay,
could see the setup in here. So my husband, if you don't know this, used to be a mixer and an engineer and a producer for music. Okay,
Check.
so
Check. Okay, sorry.
he used to. You actually just jacked it up now. I can't even hear.
What? Oh, sorry.
He made records, so he had a big studio in his house where he would make everything. And literally, this office, if you could see it, is like a mixing studio. It's not like we're just doing a Facebook Live here, guys. I just want to point that out. We've got a mixing board over here. We can do weird things with our voices, like, you know. I mean, it's legitimate. It's like a real show up in here. I'm kind of impressed, honey.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Can we come back over here though? Squirrel.
Yeah, I was looking for.
Guys, do you see? So here's how this relationship could not potentially work.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. No.
Sorry.
Okay. Do you see? You
Squirrel.
see live going on. So here's our personalities in a nutshell. Okay. I am get to work, no nonsense, cut the shit, let's go. I'm very direct. I'm very like honest, kind of like I don't have a lot of grace in the way that I say things, right? I just kind of like lay things out there. I'm very to the point. I'm an action taker. I want to move. I want to go. Let's get it done. And I don't want to waste any time. I'm not one for like fluffy stuff. Not, small talk. I'm just very direct. I'm like that kind of a person. And my husband is extremely entertained and interested in many wonders of life. Okay, right?
You gotta
Fair to
squeeze
say.
the juice out of that lemon.
Squeeze the juice out of the lemon, and you can be focused on 15 million things and get very distracted very easily. But the thing with me is like I find one thing I like and I want to do that one thing, right? I don't want to try a bunch of stuff. I find the tried and true thing and I stick to the tried and true thing. And you're like, well, what if you miss something good? You need to try multiple things. You need to try everything because you never know, you might like something better. To me, that just seems overwhelming. I like to simplify my life, and you like to expand your life. So right there is could be a potential recipe for disaster.
Okay,
Right?
so
Like I'm trying to. However, my personality type is one of those like grew up kind of fast, right? No time to play. Like there's work to do.
think how many new things you've been able to
It's true.
experience and try.
It's true.
Yeah.
So you get me to stop and smell the roses, to relax, to play more, to have more fun. I mean, I like to play too, but not when there's work to do. But you've shown me you can play when you're working. Like it's okay. Like the world's not going to fall apart.
No,
I
and-
take myself very seriously, almost too seriously sometimes.
Well, that's how's that working out for you?
It's worked out pretty good, Doug.
Yeah, see?
I'm pretty successful in
All
life.
right,
I've made it
okay.
pretty far. Thanks for asking.
So I think one of the things where we're talking like in our thing here with power coupling and surviving and thriving in a relationship is tongue in cheek here. She obviously takes things pretty serious, but is to not take things too seriously, like to relax a bit.
My whole entire life has been a study in two things: not taking things personally and learning to go with the flow. Because I am a reforming control freak where I like to have control over my environment. I like to have control over what I'm doing, what's coming. I don't like any sneak attacks. I don't want to be surprised by anything. I like to see things coming 5 miles down the road before somebody
So you like
knows
to-
they're happening.
When someone drives by. As a sneak attack.
Yeah, right. No, I like to feel the biker behind me 10 miles back where I go, I perceive something's happening. No, but yeah, so when we think about, what makes us survive, because it could go rogue. It could go bad, especially working together. And we've worked together for a very long time in one capacity or another.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also very important for me to maintain my individuality, to maintain my independence, to not get sucked in or enmeshed so that I feel like I lose myself in a situation. So, how do we navigate all that when we're working together? And are you figuring something out over there?
I'm listening. I'm putting this in some of the groups that I forgot that I was going to help spread the love.
So, I forgot what I was saying because I got distracted by your
about
your
how we
phone
work
thing right
together
now.
and distractions.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway,
Let's go back to the tape.
I'm doing one thing. This is a perfect example. I'm doing one thing right now, which is talking to you, which is coming here, and you're doing 55 things at one time.
Not
That's
55.
that's a perfect example. So it could go rogue, not getting lost in the relationship, you know. And we've tried to like, at one point, I think we tried to like merge our lives almost too much.
Well, I think there's always going to be room for it, like doing this. I think so. For years, we were doing, when we worked at the treatment center, we ran. We ran a lot of groups together. We did the mornings, every morning we did together, and then there were a few groups that we did together, and then we did our own respective groups. Then we did the family program together. I mean,
it's a lot of togetherness, guys.
Focus, like there was like, okay, here's Heidi's section, here's my section, here's our section.
So we ran basically seminars together and workshops together.
Yeah.
Inside of a treatment center, but we did
and
that
outside too,
and outside, day in and day out. But the problem with that, if we don't maintain our individual, here's my piece, here's your piece, is we get lost in that. Your message gets lost and my message gets lost, because it's like we help different kind of people. Number one, we serve different populations of people, and number two, your uniqueness. It's like when you go for ice cream. Okay, this is a really good example. Okay, you know what I'm probably gonna say. You go have some frozen yogurt. You go to Froyo, right? Get really excited. You pull up. You see there's like toasted marshmallow. There's a little peanut butter. There's some double chocolate. Those are the flavors I like. So you pull those things down, and then you go put your toppings on. You get kind of a neutral topping that'll kind of meld into every one of those flavors nicely, right? And you enjoy the marshmallow. And you take it in, and you're like, that tastes really good. I like that flavor. Then you move into the peanut butter. Maybe you dip a little chocolate in with that peanut butter, maintaining the distinct flavors. You take your yogurt and go.
I don't swirl it like that. I don't do that. I don't mix them like all together.
You can't taste the individuality.
Although I do that with Indian food a little bit. Like I'll get the nice bowl of rice, and then I put them in sections. So I'll put the chana masala in one section, and the dal in another, and the aloo gobi in another, and all that. And so it's like a frozen yogurt experience where I get to dip in a little. I don't mix it all up right away. But when I was a kid, I guess I did. Ellie does that.
Ellie does that because Ellie wants to be enmeshed. Ellie doesn't have a single identity, and she's learning her own identity, but she wants me right there with her all the time. She was a high needs child where didn't want to be put down ever for the first 2 years, and that's the perfect child for me. That's the perfect situation for me, because here's a raging independent, compulsively self-reliant.
Who wants to control everything though, so it works out pretty good. So she's
I mean, for somebody who's like compulsively self-reliant, it's good to have people that want to be close to you, right? Because it challenges you, and relationships are, I think that most people, you know, when they think about being a power couple, they think, oh, great, when I meet that right person, we're a power couple, it's going to be so easy. We're just going to be effortless, because that's what true love and real love is, and we're never going to fight or argue. And a power couple sharpens your axe. A power couple strengthens you. If you're going to be power, you need to do things that test your strength and your ability to withstand pressure. And so you're going to find somebody that compliments you. And when I say compliment, I mean challenge.
Right.
Challenges you in a way. And so but not trying to make us all the same. Respect our individuality and find a way to work within that individuality.
Right. And that is the dance, because you know, while I guess the idea of power couple also comes from each individually being power, and then coming together with that next level of energy where it's compounded, not drawing apart. Because sometimes I imagine for some there's that it takes away, or there's competition, or there's
we
some
dealt with
discord.
That.
We're human.
If we're totally honest, I mean, when we first started, there would be a little bit of that, and it was kind of hard. Like, oh, are you going to do that video? Are you going to do the live? Or I'm not going to be on your live? Or are we going to do this together? Or what are we going to do? And it was hard to figure out. But it's like, you think about a superhero couple, all right? And you think of two superheroes.
Wonder Woman and Superman?
Okay, Wonder Woman and Superman. If Wonder Woman was like, no, you take the lasso. No. Superman's like, no, you, whatever his skills are. I don't know what he does.
Everything.
Okay. What I'm saying is, Wonder Woman, what makes her wonderful and wondrous is her ability to retain her own individual, unique superpowers. And maybe I take that too far sometimes with this radical independence, and learning how to utilize. This is interdependence, right? We can be like codependent, which is what I help people with, right? Which is where like we get. If you want to understand that better, go to lovecoachheidi.com. Go on codependency coaching and understand that better. Or independence, we can get stuck in this, I'll do it myself, or you do, I don't want to include you in anything. But interdependence is this beautiful, your strengths, my strengths, we give to each other, we take from each other and give to each other in this cyclical kind of, like today, I could have done a better job because I knew I was tapped out. I could have done a better
Ellie, no. There's cups here that you could have spilt soda all over the computers. That would be bad.
You can come here. Mommy and Daddy are talking about things that are important, okay? Hi. What did you think about school today?
Terribly.
What she says with a
Look
smile.
at that camera, though.
Look
That's
at
a camera
one, not
that
there.
we're... Yeah, I know it's weird.
You thought it was terrible today?
Yes.
What was so terrible about it?
I don't know.
You don't know? It was kind of hard.
What
though,
was the
right?
best thing about it today?
Yeah, I don't know. Say, Dad, what are you doing?
Good job.
Yeah, that's actually no one.
That's
What?
fake clapping. It's fake applause.
The more you know.
All right, kiddo. We're going to finish this up, and then I'm going to come down and be with you, I promise. Okay?
Do you want some peanut butter and pickle? Yeah, give it a shot.
I'm going to give it a try. This is a delicacy. You don't know about this. You're about to know. Yep, smell it. Yep, sure. It's got a good crunch on that.
Yeah.
Feeling it. What do you think? Is that pretty good? All right. I'm going to be with you in a few minutes, okay? I promise. I love you so
Well,
much.
She liked that a little bit.
Yeah, so
All right, there you go.
anyway, appreciating each other's strengths and knowing how to come to each other, but also understanding each other's weaknesses too. So, you know, there's things that you can do that I can't do, that we need to tag team and tap out. The challenge with us, though, is we do a lot of the same things well.
Yeah, so true.
No, I'm saying we have a lot of the same deficiencies. That's what I'm saying. That was a roundabout way of saying we both suck at the same things.
That is true.
Right? So then we're
Well,
both
that
just
is, so
like,
that's more on a business side. So, like, when we complement each other business-wise, neither of us are super administratively together. That's not like our strong suit. Like doing the. So we're both like, if you go to disc
I
profile.
mean, I have a lot more attention to detail. I mean, I built my own website and I did all that myself.
That is yes, and we still don't do like some of the other admin stuff. I think like everybody, you like doing the website because you get those instant results.
No, I like to be in control.
And get and to be in control. But that just being one of the things we both prefer doing the work and you know, working with people and having that impact, whereas some people enjoy doing all the behind the scenes marketing and all of those things where their passion is.
Yeah, I don't mind doing some of that stuff, but yeah, I think that for sure, when even dealing with Ellie, like, we're both wired the same way with the school thing.
Yeah.
You're not better at sitting there. It's just, and I'm not better at sitting there. It's just would take turns enduring the pain.
Right. Yes, that's
Right.
helpful.
So just supporting one another and being able to say, yeah, this is.
Yeah, and actually, why don't you, if you're watching this live or on a replay, share what are some of your strategies if you have homeschooling and you have I mean, we're going to go also that everyone's a power couple in their own way. How are you supporting each other during such a crazy experience? Fortunately, here in Florida, they'll be going back to school soon, so I'm sure there are a lot of people who are grateful for that. But how have you been dealing with it? You know, and I think we should be getting it in here. It says it connects to it, so don't know if you have commented and we don't see it. It's because we're not connected. We're not watching on Facebook right now. But yeah, so it's definitely a skill set is not taking things too seriously, and then also, like, again, we say this all the time, is assume the best. It's a simple but not always easy, because when we get charged up and something's frustrating, and it doesn't even have to be with each other, something's frustrating in school. We just could be short-tempered, or something's happening out in, you know, the world, or we just started watching, you know, looking at some crap on Facebook, you know, mask, no mask, whatever, and then that irritation may come up, and we may then take it out inadvertently by being short or, you know, huffing a little bit and not being the best. So, you know, we assume the best. If that happens, it's not, you know, and to not take things personally as well.
Well, and I think one of the other things is what I've noticed really is that we think we know each other. Because we're with our partner, we're like, oh yeah, I know what their strengths are, I know what their weaknesses are, but we don't see people how they are. We see them how we are. Whoever said that, right? Nin. That was a Nin quote, I think. We see people not how we are, we see them how they are. But meaning, like, I project onto you what I even sometimes my own inadequacies or my own shortcomings that I'm not acknowledging, or my own strengths or what have you. And so we really don't see each other clearly. We also can get in this thing where we're used to seeing each other's faults for so long that we're hyper focused on the negative that we forget all the wonderful reasons we got attracted to these partners in the first place, especially under duress, when everything is struggling. So, one of the first things that we do whenever we're working with a couple of them, go back to when they first actually fell in love with each other, and what were the qualities that really stood out, and when you were at your best and I was at my best, how do we make each other feel? What are the things, what do you bring to the relationship when you're at your best? What do you bring and what do they bring at your absolute best? And to know, what do you bring at your worst? And what do they bring at their worst? And be able to really know that. The other thing is, I know I talked about the Enneagram last week, but that's helpful too, because sometimes we think we know, and then again, we're not really in touch at all, but we take this personality test and we're like, oh my God, that explains so much. Oh my God, you're not being that way because you're being a jerk. Oh wow, it's really just like how you're wired.
It's not your nature.
Yeah. And a lot of what we're experiencing with people is nature versus nurture. Like, is that really their nature, like how they really are, or is that the environment and the circumstance that we're in and the pressure cooker? And
yeah, that's exactly as I say, the pressure cooker right now. We've never been under this kind of pressure from so many angles. I mean, you name it, we're getting
financial,
hit.
emotional,
even,
psychological,
like
social.
Something so simple, yet it's such a huge deal. Like, let's say, I put on 5 pounds or so. Well, I don't feel as fit and as energetic and as confident, as attractive. And
Are you saying you put on 5 pounds?
I think I did.
In the Rona,
at least. Yeah.
You put on 5. I put on 10.
Wouldn't notice. I didn't. And my point is that will put an impact, even if it's just this dull undertone of like something's not quite right when we need to be performing at our very best. There's so many other things that are impacting us that in it by itself wouldn't be as big of a deal. It's just that everywhere we're turning right now, it's like another stressor. And it's so important that we manage ourselves and assume the best of each other, because everyone else is going through that as well.
Whenever we're in that pressure cooker, couples treat each other worse than you would treat your friend, because you feel like somehow we have the right to be able to say all the stuff, right? Oh, I'm going to tell you how I really feel, or you can take it, or you're supposed to be behaving differently, or whatever. All these expectations, all of these things we put on each other. But the reality is, if there was ever a time for grace, if there was ever a time for kindness, if there was ever a time for patience, it's now. And I'm not saying you should tolerate being treated poorly, but I'm saying a grace period right now for everybody in this pressure cooker. And if we were going to be a friend to one another, and we weren't going to be a husband or a wife or a lover or a partner, we were going to be a friend, how would you support your friend in a trying time right now? If they were being a jerk, would you immediately take it personally, or would you say, wow, they must be having a really tough time? If they were struggling, would you run to the rescue or say they should be able to suck it up? I suck it up. No, you do what you need to do to support your friend.
Yeah, so if you're in a relationship, and Heidi touched upon it before a little bit, is, man, if we were dating and all this stuff was going on, we would be like kind of really on top. Like, oh, you doing okay? I support you.
How can I help
like, oh,
you?
I understand. It's effed up.
Look at me. I'm such a good person. Oh, look at everything I can do.
And then we get to another point, and
we're like, do it yourself, you asshole.
Yeah, come on. What's wrong with you? Get up. Help me out here.
Right. Like, if you were trying to, and not that we have to be impressive, but in the beginning, that's what we're doing. We're trying to like win affection and approval and try to do everything we can.
Eddie Murphy said, you're not going on a date with them. You're going on a date with their representative.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can all use a little representative right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it's interesting. If you're going to think about that, if you're going to put on a mask, and you put one on that is going to be more supportive, not hiding, that's not going to be one that is defensive, but is proactive in adding value to your partner, to your friend, to your family.
And if you're with somebody who's a strong person, okay, because this is really how we started this whole thing, my superpower is superpower, okay? Like a strong individual. I can put up with a lot. I'll keep going. Underneath of all that exterior of strength and all of that stuff is an intense sensitivity and an immense vulnerability that is still sometimes uncomfortable. So I'm not going to be the one to go, I'm struggling, I need help necessarily. So if you're with somebody who seems super strong and what you're witnessing from them is anger or frustration, or they're short or they're curt or they're moody, it would be really good of you to recognize that really they just need help. They're just struggling. They're feeling like they don't want to admit that vulnerability. And so saying to them, you know what, how can I help you? What do you need from me right now? How can I support you? Doug's main thing that he says, his go-to phrase is, how can I support you? What do you need right now? And it reminds me, oh my God, I need support. Because if you're a superwoman or a super guy and you're being used to doing everything, just not because you have to do it all by yourself, but because that's your compulsive self-reliance, you're used to doing it all by yourself.
And
then
depending on what's going on, you don't want to be embarrassed to say, oh yeah, I do need help.
Oh, I can't do it. It's not working. I feel overwhelmed. And then you have a vulnerability hangover
No.
when you're like, oh my God, this sucks, right? Or whatever that it is. And so, but if you're in a partnership and you married that person or you're with that person and what you loved is their strength, and I get it, because sometimes what you attract when you're that strong person is you attract takers. You attract people who just are more than happy for you to do it all, and you're in a relationship with somebody that sucks that way. That's true. Okay, that happens. But if you've done some work and you've worked on your relationship stuff and you've attracted a partner, at this point in your life, then they will be with it enough to know just that one key phrase. How can I support you? What do you need in the moment? Or Doug will often say to me, hey, just go take a bath.
Go for a bike ride.
Go on your bike ride.
Hey, go, leave. Leave.
Because I won't. Because I'll keep going. I'm like, nope, this needs done, this needs done, this is done. Because I see what needs done instead of how I feel about it sometimes.
Well, yeah, and we all sometimes will. The challenge with that could also be turning it into resentment, because then you do it while you're pissed off. And then...
being a power couple, like you never saw an episode of Superman or Wonder Woman like, this sucks. I don't like having to do this all the time. I wish somebody would come into my life. You didn't see Wonder Woman ever going, you know what I would wish? I would just wish that somebody would just come and take over. I want to be a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like, you didn't hear Wonder Woman ever do that, but I guarantee there are moments in Wonder Woman's life where she was like, I'm tired. All right? I need a break.
Well, and that's the thing.
But it's up to her to
right.
actually position herself to allow that to come into her life. And
so, you got to find some healthy self-care strategies.
And communication strategies.
Yeah, it's utmost. I mean, the
being
reason...
a power couple isn't about how necessarily strong you are. It's about the vulnerability and the willingness to say, here's where I'm weak.
Yeah. Well,
that's true strength. That's true strength.
It's interesting that using our friend Tony Robbins as an example, some people misinterpret peak state. And there'll be, people who have an idea that when Tony says peak state, he means like, yeah, always on top and on fire. It's not. It's being present state. In a power couple, power doesn't mean we're just full of, piss and vinegar and we're taking on the world and all of that. It's being that powerfully vulnerable, that powerfully supportive, that powerfully like, okay, I'm going to step back here and allow, the space to be there. And, talking to our men friends is sometimes not trying to fix it,
and you can't be in denial about your kryptonite. You can't be in denial about your kryptonite, right? And pretend like you don't have any. And so even with a man who is also expected to be surviving right now, maybe taking care of the family, supporting everything, the wife maybe that's the arrangement, right? And she's doing everything and he comes home and he's like trying to figure it all out and he needs the space, but he doesn't know how to articulate that or whatever that it is. It's like we need to be vulnerable enough and not be angry, not turn that into resentment like you're supposed to know. If you get a wise partner, if you get a sage, somebody who's like you've communicated this with before and they're able to see, but honest to goodness, most people just have no idea.
Well, most people are on autopilot and we go on autopilot
we don't know
too.
What we need.
We still do it too. I mean, part of
today I did it. That's why I was like glazing over like a catatonic patient at the asylum.
But you're feeling much better now.
Debatable. Getting there. Working through it.
So does it deserve some applause?
You know what helps? Is talking about it. And then my girlfriend Jenny was like, we got a post going, and my girlfriend Jenny was like, she has 4 at home. She's a rock star. She's a superstar. And it's like, yeah, it sucks. It's hard.
I can't imagine. And we just, by the way, for all of you single parents out there, if you are a single mom or dad and you're navigating this, holy crap, Unreal. God bless you. That is... like, if there's anything we can do to support you, please let us know, because that is, you have set a new standard of superpower if you're able to juggle all of that. And our heart goes out to you if
And
you're
also
struggling.
have to worry about the finances. There's
Right,
a lot
yeah.
of people who are worried, like that's not even I mean, that's the thing plus the other stuff that's going on too. You know, there are many people wired many different ways, right? But when we're talking about just a power couple today, we're talking about people who are particularly strong, expected to be really strong. Their vulnerability they see as weakness. However, now is the time to not become a ticking time bomb, to let that repressed rage, recognize it, and recognize it and communicate it to your partner and say, tap me out. I need a break. I need this. I need that. Now is the time to communicate that. There are other couples that don't know how to step up, that aren't a power couple, that are just like,
and offer too, you
Or
know,
there's the-
like, hey, do you need a break?
Yeah.
Like sometimes we don't even think to do that because we're on autopilot and we're struggling and we're figuring stuff out. So, do you need a break? You need anything? Are you okay? You know, can I bring you some coffee? Can I give you more stuff to do right now?
well, and there's the other type of person that's a people pleaser who's with now they're overextended in every area. And they do that because they endear themselves to people and they take on more than they want, right? Like, you know, either it's just two sides of the same coin, right? Really strong superpower people have a problem with setting boundaries with themselves. Okay, they don't have a problem with setting boundaries with other people. Like, get away from me, I don't want that. They're not people pleasers. They don't want people to need people to like them. They don't really care if people like them or not. But they don't set boundaries with themselves. They deny their own needs. They deny, you know, they put themselves on the back burner in that way, and they keep pushing. A person who's a people pleaser doesn't have any boundaries with other people. Right? So they're still in the same boat. They're both people in the same boat at the end of the day, taking on much more than they want to, still feeling burned out, still feeling resentful, and still feeling like a ticking time bomb underneath of it all. And these are all codependent patterns in relationships that we need to continue to work on. Again, another plug for my wonderful work that I do in the world with codependency over at lovecoachheidi.com.
Lovecoachheidi.com.
Can we do like a little lovecoachheidi.com? Okay.
Oh, but I can't do this.
Did I get sponsored the show today? So then I'm just like weaving in my, you know, and a lot of people think, well, listen, I'm talking about these codependency patterns and I'm still dealing with them. These are ingrained patterns that don't go away. It's like if you have multiple personalities, all right, and you know, the jury's out on whether or not that's real. Most people don't believe that it is dissociative identity disorder. The goal isn't to rid yourself of the personality, right?
know.
It's to integrate the personality into you and learn how to deal with that personality within you. So there'll always be an element of me, right, that is super strong, that needs to be constantly reminding myself, okay, you know, vulnerability is not a bad word, right?
Yeah.
Or for the person who's a people pleaser, like saying no doesn't mean that they're going to take their love away. You know, you get to say no and you get to disappoint people. It's okay not to be, you know, don't be afraid to be somebody who's going to disappoint people. It's okay right now, you know. Oh, look. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, is there anything else you want to wrap up with today? Anything else you think, you know, words of wisdom or inspiration?
No, I know that, you know, we talked about, you know, so this morning or this afternoon, Heidi was like, okay, so what are we going to talk about? And I was like,
I said I'm a brain dead idiot.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say. Go on.
hold on, let me do another one here. Ready? Let's see. No, that's not
That's what I
it.
said.
There we go. Okay, hold on.
What are you doing? Are you putting brain dead idiot above
No,
my head?
no.
Oh.
I'm trying to. Oh, there's,
Okay.
there's a way to. Oh, there. Well, I was trying to have fun here.
Squirrel.
Oh, that's not the one I wanted either. What's going on here? There you go. We talked about.
Go on.
Go with the flow.
I'm flowing all day long.
Okay.
Full of flow.
So we talked about. She's like, you know, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, well, let's talk about, you know, the importance of positivity. And she's like, it's boring. And
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to.
But
I don't care. Go on.
and I do want to end with that though, because yes, because
Really
it is
important.
important.
It's important.
Because here's what happens if our new normal is again this, you know, sad malaise of frustration, anger, bitterness, resentment, and we allow that to permeate.
You're right.
It's going to it's happening now.
You're right.
Like. And we're allowing ourselves without even realizing it, because for whatever reason we think it's not possible to be positive when we have all these crazy things going on. And this is how we're going to turn it all around. And, you know, take care of yourself so that you can take care of another, so that you could take care of your family, so that, and one of the first ways all of the things that, when we talk about even taking a bath or, you know, going for a bike ride or whatever the ecological stress coping mechanisms that you bring in, you're doing it because you want to feel a certain way. You want to eliminate or eradicate some of that negativity. So just be aware of it and take a moment and just re-present yourself to how grateful you are to be in whatever relationship you are.
Yeah. So today we did that. You know, I was texting my friend Jenny, and we were like, "Oh, this sucks." But then at the end of the conversation, we're doing like hearts, like, "We've got this. You've got this, girl." You know. And the other thing was, I was in the midst of the Idiocracy. Okay, it reminded me of that movie Idiocracy.
Go rent that.
I love that movie. It's the State of the Union right now. Oops, sorry. It's the way I'm not used to things. So I was in the middle of this Idiocracy, and I looked over at Elavie, and they were having that extremely boring, you know, just mind fuck of a conversation about rain and lightning, and I looked over at Ellie, and she was like, "Yeah, and the lightning and the rain, and we went in the rain," and she was like loving the conversation at that point. And believe me, there's many points of the day where she's like drooling and like, you know, over it. But in that moment,
no offense to anybody else, just because she gets it and some of the kids didn't.
In the moment, she was like genuinely excited, and I just was like, man, innocence. And for me, it's just that appreciation, remembering to like retain that innocence. You don't have to, you know, I don't always know what's coming. And that's part of that problem for that 6 hours a day is like, oh God, now we got science, and I just know what's going to, you know, you just let it unfold and be awake for those little moments where, because guess what?
Do you know
it's not
what
permanent.
rain is?
It's not permanent. That feels like a bad corporate meeting.
It's rain.
Does anybody know the budget? Anybody? And then goddamn Cindy's like, I don't know. What is the budget? Do we have a budget? And you're like, oh my God,
we need to have a meeting on the meeting that we need to have about the meeting we're going to have on whether or not we're going to have a meeting on the budget.
Doug, you're taking me back down memory lane. I'm getting hot again. No, I'm just kidding. So
in a good way.
So yeah. So I
spreadsheets.
Circle back. Dovetail.
We're going to wrap it all around.
Piggyback on that one. Oh my God. Corporate words are making me hot.
Let's get a little, get some, a way to get some.
Oh my God.
Trying to find some, yeah, nice reverb.
Dovetail. Okay, guys, we're just going to do this all day. All right. We love you. Let's wrap it up. What's the positive? What's the silver lining? Anyway, the silver lining is this communication. Comment, leave your feedback, what was great, and also venting. So it's not toxic positivity. It's not like everything's great. Like Ellie came in here and she was like, it sucked. Yeah. You know? But it's like this, hey, it's the flow, right? It's the flow of life, and the flow is accepting both. It sucks, and it's probably pretty cool in some of the moments too. And that's what life is.
Well, and yeah, again,
a balance of it sucks and oh wow.
A simple tool is like, you know, is to what's positive right now. What could be the silver lining? If you go nothing, well, what could be? What could be positive? What could I be grateful for? What could I learn from this? And, you know, leave on that note, like whatever that situation is, whatever the challenge is leave with that mindset of some semblance of gratitude, of learning something, of how we can share this, Heidi just, you know, witnessing the innocence, you know, like what would a kid feel about this right now? You know, God bless the kids, and for good or for bad, the way some of them are navigating this. Some of them are figuring out, and they may not, you know how bad it is for some people, and God bless you parents for creating a safe space for your children to, you know, to figure this out.
Everybody's doing the best they can. Everybody's doing a great job, and we love you, and it's not easy, and you've got this.
We love you for who you are and who you aren't. Oh yeah, and just for men, Freedom Hack for Men, let's put together a tribe of supportive, rockin' warriors who are committed to
navigating the strong women in their lives.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. And just in general, just have a place that you can safely vent and get real about what's going on, and find a support system around it.
We ain't easy, and this isn't easy.
Yep.
Right?
So with that being said, we love you for who you are and who you aren't. And how do you like, and chime in, how do you like our little thing here? We can do this too, right?
Okay.
That's pretty fun.
Love you.
Okay, love you. See ya.